up for bid on eBay is a really clean Mac 512K. It's a Mac, Fat Mac, as a lot of people call them. I bought this at an estate sale recently, and it came with the original external floppy drive, an internal floppy drive, a keyboard, mouse. Came with some covers, and if you look here, it actually has this CompuCraft emblem on the front of it, and I have some covers from CompuCraft for this as well. And it seems like CompuCraft was a distributor for Mac in the very early days, and there's not a lot of information about them on the internet, but it looks like it's just stuck on there, probably glued on or double-sided taped on. I decided to leave it just because I feel like it actually is pretty original to the Mac and is kind of a part of the history of this machine as well, so I went ahead and left it on. When I received this, it actually would power up and everything worked fine, except the floppy drives were really gummed up. It looks like this machine was really not used very much. It's really clean. It's not yellow anywhere that I can see at all. It's actually in really good shape. But the floppy drives themselves, while internally everything was clean, the grease had just gummed up the mechanism that you insert the floppy with. And I've got them working pretty well now. Unfortunately, the external still seems to drop the mechanism in occasionally, and I have to eject it. I've got it working as well as I can, and I've put the disc in and out of it about 200 times now, and as far as I know, it's okay, but there's a chance, I suppose, that it might actually drop in there again. And all I've had to do was just push, a paper clip or something into this and eject the mechanism back up, and then you can put a disc in. But right now, it seems to be working just fine, injecting just fine. The internal drive's working great too. I cleaned it as well. It seems to be happier, and I haven't had any problems with it. I took some photos of the inside of the machine when I had it apart. I also took the mouse apart and cleaned it because it was pretty gummed up around the ball. It looks like it was never clean, but also, you can see on the case it's really clean, and one of the original ones as well. The back of the machine also in really good shape. When I received it, there was no battery in it, thankfully, so there was no corrosion at all inside of the battery compartment that I could see. I went ahead and I got a new battery for it, so the battery's working. You see I got the power unplugged from it. I've had it unplugged for about an hour now, just to show that the battery's still working. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this guy back in, and then turn it on. Sorry about that, I accidentally hit the button on the camera here. So as you can see, it's waiting for its disc now, and I'll go ahead and these discs are actually just some 800K discs that, these drives are 400K internal. I have a Mac 2CI, and I was able to download some images and get those over to 400K floppies. Unfortunately, my 2CI floppy stopped working after I got one disc to work, so all I have is this boot up disc. But you can see it actually boot the Mac up. The Mac comes up and is happy. And it's booting now. There's the screen. Let's give it a second. Okay. There's the title bar. And there's a disc. It's actually a disc I formatted. And I named it, we'll focus here. A, B, C, D, F, G. I just was testing the keyboard out, making sure all the keys work, but I'll show you this drive actually works as well. Put the disc in for it. And there's that disc. That's the original disc that I made that will actually boot it up. So either of these discs are bootable. I was just formatted discs with both of them, and I made sure everything was working great on both the drives, and both of them are working flawlessly. I'll show you real quick as well. Go in here. Unfortunately, I don't have, like I said, I don't have a lot of programs on here, but there's the alarm clock. You can see the time. It's actually Sunday afternoon around 1 p.m. and I set the date and everything in here as well. It's May 18th, 2014. As you can see, I had it unplugged, so it remembered this. The battery is working, so it's actually keeping the date and time properly. So that's a good thing. So let me show you as well. I'll just take both of the discs here and eject them, just to show you that everything's ejecting as it should be. Okay, well, that's my Mac 512K. I'll have it up on eBay shortly. If you have any questions, feel free to email me and ask about it before I put it up for sale. And thanks for looking, and happy bidding.